Larry, are we ready? We'll also try to post the agenda in chat.
Okay, that's good. All right, good afternoon to everyone. I call our Winston-Salem Human Relations Commission special virtual meeting order for tonight on December the 9th, 2020 at 5:38 p.m. At this time, can we receive roll call from our secretary, Ms. Carlin Duncan?
Hi, everyone. Okay, Commissioner Lee.
Present.
Commissioner Wiggins.
Present.
Commissioner Bloomfield has requested an excused absence. Commissioner Haynes.
Present.
Commissioner Preble.
Present.
Commissioner Price.
Present.
Commissioner Sarton.
Present.
Commissioner Taylor should be joining us shortly. Commissioner Thompson. And Commissioner Usher.
Carlin, can you give Commissioner Thompson a chance to say present?
Sure.
She's on mute.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Present.
And Commissioner Usher might be joining us shortly as well. Okay, Commissioner Lee, it's all yours.
Thank you, Ms. Carla Duncan. At this time, we're going to approve our minutes for our last month meeting in November, for the November 20th meeting minutes. Have everyone had the time to look over as well review the minutes?
Yes.
See, so it has been done. Is there a motion to approve our November? I was trying to find the date on that.
18th, I think.
November 18th minutes.
Motion to approve November 18th minutes.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Price. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Thompson. At this time, we're going to, of course, go around the Zoom call so we can all state our preference. Commissioner Sarton, what's your preference?
Approve.
Oh, no.
Commissioner Price?
Approve.
Thank you. Commissioner Preble?
Approve.
Thank you. Commissioner Thompson?
Approve.
Thank you. And Vice Chair Commissioner Wiggins?
Approve.
Thank you. And of course, I say aye. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Unanimously. Thank you so much. All right.
And I from Sunny as well, in case my screen.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Froze. No, I think it froze for a second, so I didn't know if you called my name, but I approve it.
I did not. Okay, let me do it again. Commissioner Haynes, what's your preference? Commissioner Haynes? Okay.
I approve.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so really tonight, what we have, we're having our special meeting tonight is in regards to our name change recommendation update. Several of us on this commission have been working diligently on trying to come up with a name change that will fit our commission, but really our department as entirely whole. You guys should have already received an email from the office in relation to the name change recommendation. I was trying to see if there's a way we could pull up the document so everyone could see it.
Chair Leak, actually the document was shared by Commissioner Haynes already, and it was via email. I think she did that yesterday.
Okay, I got it.
And since it's in draft form, my recommendation would be that you all review it via email.
Okay.
Already done so. Hopefully that's already been done so that all you would have to do is discuss it on the live stream.
Correct. I got you. I understand. Okay. But my first question is: Have everyone been able to read over the document in relationship to the name that the ad hoc committee been able to develop? Okay. Is there any discussions?
Chair Leak, I know that there was some discussion about options with respect to the name change amongst the ad hoc committee.
Correct.
This is Sunny on the phone. I was just going to add that happy to answer any questions, but we really discussed the fact that there had been some confusion in the community about what the Human Relations Department's function was. Sometimes it had been confused as human resources. And so just as we discussed at a previous meeting with the full commission, we looked at what name might be more descriptive to promote a better public understanding of the function of the department, but also to be more descriptive of the work that the department does, which has expanded significantly since it was formed in 1978. And many of you who have been on the commission for a while know about all of the outreach that we do, not just with race relations, which was the original purpose of the commission and the department, but also expanding to issues related to immigrants in our community, newcomers, and others. And so we really wanted to come up with a name that better fit what the department does currently, but also recognizes the work that the department has done in the past, and also was broad enough to encompass the future work that the department may undertake in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that is where the recommended name for the department came from, which would be the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department. So happy to open it up for discussion, but that was what our ad hoc committee recommended. And additionally, Wanda brought to our attention that there is an organization, the Government Alliance on Race and Equity. And after looking at the purpose of that organization, we thought it would be a good fit for the city to recognize its commitment to racial equity and to join that organization so that we can collaborate with other cities and counties in North Carolina that have joined the Government Alliance, but then also other municipalities nationwide that have done this work. I believe the Government Alliance works with over 200 different jurisdictions across the country. So that was part of the recommendation as well. And again, happy to answer any questions.
Hey, this is Commissioner Wiggins. Just a thought, as we're making this recommendation, do you all think that we should submit more than one potential suggestion to the city council, just in case they may like this one, they may not, but there are some others that we can look at if you think that may be an alternative to getting the name change passed or approved by the council. So there was Civil Rights Commission Department or Equal Rights Commission or Department in conjunction with what we already have.
And just as a point of clarification, Vice Chair Wiggins, I know that you're referencing civil rights because of departments and commissions across the United States who do have those names, and they do basically what we do. I know that, for instance, in Colorado, I remember another state, maybe Seattle, but not Seattle, but Washington, that they also use either civil rights or equal rights to describe their function as a department and commission. And of course, the logic that you all had was that you wanted it to be all encompassing, to include diversity, to include equity, and include inclusion as the three prongs of what we do from a fair housing and cultural outreach perspective.
Well, Ms. Wanda, can we think about presenting more than one name to the city council?
Well, I think that, whatever the pleasure of the commission is, that would be fine. And I certainly think it would be appropriate if you felt comfortable doing that as Vice Chair Wiggins has suggested, to just maybe have those three: diversity, equity, and inclusion, and civil rights and equal rights, if the commission thinks that's advisable. But I certainly think that would be within your authority to recommend options if that's what you choose to do. And Vice Chair Wiggins, upon her recommendation that it may help with getting the name change approved. I don't know if any other commissioners would want to chime in on that thought.
Okay, this is Commissioner Thompson. I feel like we discussed the several different names, and I think making a strong recommendation for the one I felt like that we were most in agreement with would be the strongest case. I think asking the city to step in and to look at a couple different options, I just think that's making more work for everyone.
I agree with Commissioner Thompson.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Thompson as well.
I'd also be afraid that if we presented multiple options that the council might see those as equivalent, even if we tried to spell out that we had a preference, and might give them a little bit more leeway to take one that we weren't as that we didn't feel strongly about. So I think I also agree with just submitting the one, unless we do feel that there is a strong chance that they will decline it. I have not been part of the commission where we've put something like this before the city council. Does anyone have any kind of experience in that?
Well, Commissioner Price, this is pretty historic right now.
Yeah.
Sure.
What you all are doing, this is kind of uncharted territory.
Yeah.
You all are trailblazers. The name has never been changed. It's been human relations. Yeah, so this is a very unique opportunity. And I know that some of you had mentioned not wanting to have to consider changing the name in another few years, whatever the name selection is. I know you all want it to last. And so totally uncharted territory here. We don't have a past precedent to go by for this.
I do like the Civil Rights Commission and the Equal Rights Commission as well, but I do think that we do run a risk of opening more up broadly to individuals that we really don't cater to, provide a service to in our department. That's the only risk that I feel that we will run into. And I'm happy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Commissioner. I do think with Civil Rights Commission, I'm gonna be honest, as an African American, I think that we will run the risk of folks should be reporting to the NAACP probably with issues, but then they'll be coming to the to this department. So that's just my concerns about those other two choices. I'm sorry, Commissioner Vice Chair Wiggins, you have something to say?
And I concur. I just was thinking, just thinking outside of the box. Our goal is to be successful and not to create additional work, for us, but just as a thinking point.
Thank you.
For making sure that we are able to be successful. in making the transition with the name as well as in the work. But I enjoy it. Thanks for the feedback, everyone.
And just so the commissioners who were not part of the ad hoc committee process know, we did talk about a number of different names and talk about the relative pros and cons. And I think where we ended up was with something that was broad enough, but also specific enough to the type of work that the department actually does. We did discuss the fact that, for example, the city of Greensboro has renamed their human relations department to human rights. And we talked about, for the same reasons that Chair Leak just brought up with equal rights and civil rights, that it may have a different connotation and may not actually promote a better understanding from the public about the department's function. So we went with diversity, equity, and inclusion to try to be a little bit more descriptive of what the department is doing and may be doing in the future. So that was where we ended up with that particular name. And I do echo the sentiments of other commissioners who believe that the strongest recommendation will be presenting one recommended name for the change.
Chair Leak, I just wanted to ask if the ad hoc committee would be interested in explaining to the rest of the commission the thought process behind the DEI name, particularly when it comes to businesses, colleges, corporations, and so forth. I remember you all had a really insightful and productive discussion on that piece too. And it might benefit the rest of the commission to hear some of that logic as well.
Yes, correct. And I believe Commissioner Thompson had brought that up. The DI or Commissioner Haynes won.
With respect to the colleges, I think it was Vice Chair Wiggins.
It might be Vice Chair Wiggins. Okay.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Was it how we clarified that it would be meaningful to have an organization that, for say, college students who are graduating out of college and who are familiar with diversity, equity, and inclusion and are looking for a place to identify and serve with in their communities, have a department that has that same type of title would help them to better connect and know what this department does and become active in it. Is that what you are referring to?
That's right.
Yes.
I also recall a point that I believe our own Jamie Waldeck made that I thought was also a good one, that the words diversity, equity, and inclusion, they all mean different things. So diversity is not the same as equity. It's not the same as inclusion. So all three of those words we thought were important to be even more descriptive of the work that the department is doing.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. Reflective of our community.
Yeah. I can add that as a member of a major corporation, like I've a lot of yearly training that's focused around diversity and inclusion. We don't have equity yet, but we're working on it. But so that terminology is very prevalent in the corporate world. So I think it'll resonate.
And I think equity is a very good term, and it is used, I think, very loosely sometimes in the community. And when you look at the makeup of our community, it's not as reflective. When we talk about equity and you look at it, it's either non-existent or we don't know how to apply it. And it really, I think the work that this commission does, I think that we really have a really great handle on equity, and it is making sure that, individuals across the community have access and are included and exposed to what the city of Winston-Salem has to offer its residents. I think that's a very important term.
We felt equity especially spoke to the fair housing aspect of what we do.
Yeah.
Commissioners, if you don't mind, I would love to take an opportunity to ask the staff for any feedback or thoughts they may have, because as Commissioner Haynes pointed out, Jamie shared a very good point from her through her lens, because of course she is our outreach specialist. And so she looks at things through a different lens than perhaps Adolfo, Iris, or Carlin. And so I would just like to ask my staff if it's okay to share their thoughts at this time, because again, you all, this is historic. This is a very big deal. And so we certainly don't want to take this lightly, and we want to make sure that everyone's voice is heard. And we want you to really delve into the weeds of this, because this will have reverberations for years and years and years to come. So I don't know if Jamie, Iris, Carlin, or Adolfo would have anything to say right now.
I can start.
Oh, go ahead, Adolfo.
Ladies first.
I'll take it.
Thank you. I agree with it. I like it, especially the part about equity, because I'm all about being fair. And I live by the quote of Martin Luther King, is always time to do what's right when it's right.
Right.
So I agree fully with this name change.
And Iris, do you think it encompasses the that you do for the department, because you're the newest member of our staff and you've been here for a year now?
Yeah.
And so just knowing what I know, right?
Yeah.
Knowing what you know about your work and your area of focus, what do you think?
I think it will fit because we always want to do what's right. And the tenant wants the landlord to do what's right, or anybody in discriminatory, being discriminated against. So like I said, I like it. It's always time to do what's right when it's right, in my book. And like I said, I live by that quote. I try to do what's right to everybody, and I try to treat everybody the way I would like to be treated. So I think it will fit the department.
Thank you. Jamie?
I concur.
I mean, I just have to agree as well. And even Commissioner Price, by what you just said about that you all have diversity and inclusion, and your work, one day maybe you'll have the equity part. To me, that even solidifies having all three really does make a difference. The equity piece is a piece that is being worked on nationwide in different places. And I think when you say it, like we are the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office, it shows that we're working on something. So I like it.
If I may, the only thing I wanted to add is that in other parts of the country, when we travel and we meet investigators and staff from other parts of the country, when they sometimes have civil rights divisions, but they're I'm sorry, that's a clock. Anyway, they all have they have the civil rights. They are so broad because they sometimes do employment and education, also discrimination in all those areas. So I think this part that comes up, talks about diversity, equity, and inclusion, I think it would encompass that for the time being limited scope that we have, because we don't do schools and we don't do employment like other agencies do. And those agencies sometimes are also called civil rights enforcement or civil rights division or something like that. And I also want to tell Commissioner Price, this president that you had, it was 17, not 19, as I said. I think number 19 is Rutherford B. Hayes. So Andrew Johnson is 17, sorry.
Carlin, did you want to share your thoughts? Thank you, Adolfo. big job in your scope and what you do.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I do agree with Jamie, like I said on the previous meeting, but I do get Commissioner Price a point to give options, and maybe you can label it as the preference, which name we prefer, and then have two backup option or another backup options just in case. But I do like the name Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department as well. I think that should be our number one, choice and name.
Thank you so much, Carlin. And Myra, I didn't mean to ignore you when I called out staff earlier, because you're a part of staff too. You're our intern. And so you have a really unique perspective because you are, in fact, the newest addition. And so what do you think, coming from your college perspective, what do you think about DEI? If you heard that as a college student or as a young professional who's just graduated, would you have a clear understanding and would you match that name with what you know that we do as a department?
I'm not sure. Like you said, I'm a college student. So on my university, Salem College, they have a department with that exact same name. About 2 years ago, to work on some of the issues that the college had with, acceptance of some of the problems that they had. It was called the Department of Equity, Inclusion, and it's just the same title. My only feedback is it's a really good name. It encompasses a lot of the stuff that you do. I think it was brought up before that sometimes it covers stuff that the department doesn't do. Like they talk about education, like that. That's the only problem there will be. I feel like there will be some confusion, but when you change the name, just establish, that you, I don't know if you do like a gala or something like that, like, just let everyone know that you changed the name, and you're doing it to encompass, more, to work more, so it will be more fitting for the department. You have to establish that when you change it, because like I said, that's been the name since it was created. So it's going to be a big step changing it, and you have to make sure everyone is on the same page when you do it, because if not, it's going to be a lot of confusion.
That's a very, very good point, Myra. Thank you. And you said at Salem College, where you are, there's a department with that exact name. Okay.
Yeah, the exact same name. Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing for us, I think it was difficult for people to say it because they had to fill out the whole thing. So I don't know if they came up with an abbreviation for it or something. They left out one of the words or something because it was really long.
Right. I think in a lot of circles, it's referred to as DEI. I've heard that a lot over the years, DEI.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, that's my feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chair Leak, for allowing the staff to share their thoughts.
Welcome. Ms. Iris, you have something to say?
Question, with the name change, will our titles change along with that, boss?
Wow, hadn't dug that deep, but yeah, I guess they would have to.
Yeah.
Including mine, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And that's why we wanted to make it clear too that whatever title change there is for the department, it would affect the commission as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why it would require city council approval, because it would have to be changed in the city code.
Yeah.
So it would have to be changed up and down wherever human relations is referenced in city code or in the city laws, the local ordinances. It would have to be changed everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the market material and everything.
Yes. Great question, Iris. That would have dawned on me like probably, days and days after approval, if we get this approved and everything. I would have been like, wait a minute. Yeah, that's new business cards and everything. So there would be some cost associated, but I'm thinking that the cost should be minimal. Just with the exception of having to get business cards and pamphlets reprinted, things like that.
Mhm. And of course, we'll have a press release out and all that. So, yeah.
Yes, we would have to work really closely with marketing and communications.
Mhm.
Make sure that, as Myra stated, that we have a really good marketing plan to make this known to the community.
Yeah.
I think we're so fortunate in Winston-Salem to have such a robust department that does deal with not only just the local landlord-tenant issues, but also works closely with HUD through our connection there with being a FAP program, and touches all of the cultural outreach that's done. And the department does so much, and largely under Wanda's leadership and along with the support of all of the staff on this call, that as an ad hoc committee, we really struggled with a name that would be perfect to encompass everything, but also wouldn't cause more confusion. So I don't know that we got it perfect, because the department just does so much and will do so much in the future. But I think one thing that I mentioned on our last call is that the department will just have to do what it has always done, which is educate the community about the services that are offered.
Yeah.
And we would certainly do our best to do that, Commissioner Haynes. Definitely would.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have social media, you know, and digital advertising or whatever. We have all of these other things at our fingertips that weren't around. They didn't exist back in the 1970s when this original name was selected. So hopefully that'll be a huge benefit.
All right. Any other comments? Dolph, okay.
I just have a question, boss. Do we know if in 1975 the commission also had an assortment of possibilities to name the department? If
I have no idea, Dolfo. I know you think I'm old, but I'm not quite that old. I was not even in elementary school just yet back then. So I don't know what was going on back then in 1975 with the discussion with the name and all. I'm guessing that the commission could have taken, well, I'm sorry, the city council or board of aldermen back then might have taken their lead from the state, because I believe the State Human Relations Commission may have predated the local one, and everyone just started using that name across the state. Human relations, and so perhaps that's where it came from. And so maybe it was just kind of an automatic, you know, like a foregone conclusion that they would just be consistent to try to minimize confusion across the state, that everyone would just be consistent. And see, that's what we're not seeing now, because even before Greensboro changed their name, in Orange County, it was called the Orange County Human Rights and Relations Commission and Department. And so they already had a different name. Charlotte, down there in Charlotte-Mecklenburg, they are called the Community Relations Committee. Mm-hmm. When called commission or department, they are a committee. And so we already had some disjointedness anyway with the names. But by and large, everybody just went with human relations. And I really think it could have been because they were following the lead of the state. But my dates could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe we predated the state, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, boss.
You're welcome.
Any other discussions or questions from the commission before we make our recommendation?
One quick thought, and it was to something that Ms. Wanda brought up earlier. Do we have a responsibility with a proposal like this to have some kind of cost estimate as to what this might cost the city in either dollars or in hours? And I very much don't want us to get like lost in details and lose momentum on something like this. So I was very hesitant to even talk about this, but I didn't know if the city council might see it and then say, well, what's this going to cost us, and decline it because of that. I don't have enough experience in this area. So I'm not sure if that's something that they would go ahead and approve and then figure out, or if that's something they would expect us to kind of have on a proposal as we go to them.
Jamie, do you want to share some of the information that you mentioned to me about what we have and have not done so far with some of the printing and the costs associated with that? Because I know you and Carlin usually handle printing. So I just want to talk a little bit about some of the actual costs that we've seen when we've had to do print jobs and change up some things, like whenever the council members' names change and all, we have to print stuff all over again and purge. Can you talk a little bit about that? Cost?
Sure. So our printing is relatively like just for the booklets alone. If we do, which are our department brochures that tell about all of the commissions and the programs we do, that would be the most expensive thing we print usually. And to print 100 of those is usually around $50. So for our, I mean, I would think for our department and what we print for, it's relatively small. I just texted Wanda and let her know, you know, during this time at home, we've really updated a lot of print things that we normally give out when we are at events. And because we haven't been at events, we haven't printed them. So they're already updated, ready to be printed. And, you know, potentially we can update with a new name and we won't even have to, we won't pay for one and then have to go back and do the other, depending on how timing goes and stuff. But yeah, most of our printing is relatively a low budget, I would imagine. We have one department brochure or banner that, I mean, even the banner we use, I think the most we paid on a department banner was around $200, $250. And we've had the one we use probably 3 to 4 years now. So.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that sounds exceedingly reasonable, which was as expected. So, do we need to include that in a proposal? Do we need to say we expect the cost to be very, very low, or like under a certain amount or anything like that? Or is that better left off? And if they have questions, then
Mr. Price, I think that's an excellent point, and I think that it would bode well for us if we could demonstrate that we have done our due diligence in terms of research and projections and all. And so with you being the money person over here, the capacity in which you work, I'm so happy that you thought about that. And I would highly recommend that the ad hoc committee consider adding something. It doesn't have to be really detailed, but something about the fact that the cost should be minimum. Minimal cost.
That sounds great.
And I think some of the verbiage that Jamie can share with us in talking about the price may be good to include, with already having material updated. We also minimize the cost.
Well, we would have to update all of our brochures and things anyway, because as you all probably already know, there are a couple of new city council members that we have. And so whenever that happens, whenever there's a transition like that, we do have to purge our old documents and things and update letterhead, all of that. We have to do all of that. And so we would have been doing that anyway. And depending on how quickly this may go through city council, the timing may coincide really well for us. It may be a good thing because we could just hopefully do it all at once, or either we just hold on printing a whole lot until we see whether or not this would be approved. And I understand from marketing that they've had to do this for other departments, because we would have to really, like I said, work very closely with the marketing and communications department. And they've had to do, go through name changes and things like that with other departments. And it wasn't too huge of a challenge from what I'm understanding.
So,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Quickly, Commissioner Price touched a very good point. We don't know what the City Council is going to ask the Commission about it, but I wonder if some of them will ask the Commission if we had some type of survey with the community before making this name change, and if they do, what would be our answer?
I could just say that I don't know that something like this would necessarily be well served by conducting a survey, because my thought is if people are already confused about who we are and what our functions are and what our scope is, that a survey wouldn't really tell us what we're looking for, because they already wouldn't necessarily know who we are and what we do anyway. So that would be my initial thought about a survey. I don't know that it would really be conducive to what we're trying to do.
I would agree with that, and not to like pat ourselves on the back too much, but very simply, like, our commission is put forward to represent the community as well as possible in diversity ways and in interest ways, and so in a way it's kind of our role to be able to represent the community's best interest, and we do the best we can. so yeah, I would agree.
I agree as well. I do think that we do represent the community at the best ability, and I just, I agree with Commissioner Thompson. I don't want this to be a process that is going to be more of adding on more confusing, within this name change. So, I just agree that we just think about, the name change that has been recommended to this commission that will, service broader our constituents here in Winston-Salem. But those ones who don't know will be able to bring forth the knowledge of the work that we are contributing, from the commission as well as the department. So. Great discussions. Oh, well, we don't want to leave anyone out tonight. Is there any other comments, concerns, or I know y'all tired. I can see your faces. Yeah.
And Chair Leak, I know that Commissioner Usher joined a little bit later than everyone else, so I don't know if you would like to.
I see. Okay, I didn't see him.
What his thoughts may be. His name on this.
Yes, I am here, and great seeing you guys and hearing you guys. Only thing that I have to say about the name change is that I'm not big on name changes, so whatever you guys agree to would be a wonderful thing. Hopefully, it would be something that we all can remember, or those who need our services can remember and be able to find us. But as well, as long as we do the work that's needed, so I'm down for it. I'm in agreement.
Thank you. And thank you, Commissioner Haynes and Thompson, for those information in our chat as well. We appreciate that. All right. Well, I think it's the time we all been waiting for then. Are there any other comments, discussions? All right. If not, is there a motion to move forward? I'm sorry. Commissioner Vice Chair, you have a comment?
No.
Is there a motion to move forward with the new recommendation, the name change?
I make the recommendation that we move forward in accepting the name change from the Human Relations Commission to the Department of Equity, Inclusion, and Diversity.
I second it.
All right, motion by Vice Chair Wiggins, second by Commissioner Sarton. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, just one technicality.
Okay.
Vice Chair Wiggins, could you state it as diversity, equity, and inclusion? Because this is a matter of public record. We want to make sure there's no confusion from the outset of what the name would be.
Mm-hmm.
Your motion would include approving the ad hoc committee's recommendation to change the name of the commission and department from Human Relations to Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I know. I mean, I don't know how you repeat that, but
Okay, I'm gonna give it a good try. So I make the recommendation. I make the motion that the recommendations to change the name of the Human Relations Commission is brought forth by ad hoc committee, that we change the name from the Human Relations Commission to the Department of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
No, that's not. No. What is, you had a comment, Ms. Wanda?
so you all are making a motion to change the name of, well, first of all, you're making a motion to accept the ad hoc committee's recommendation to change the name of the Human Relations Commission and Department to Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission and Department.
Yeah.
Do I need to say that, Wanda?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Or was that for clarity?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Okay, let me see if I can get this straight this time. All right, so I make a motion that the commission accepts the recommendation made by the ad hoc committee to change the name of the Human Relations Department and Commission to the Commission and Department of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission. Did I get it right?
So close.
Ms. Wanda,
okay.
Wait a minute, Vice Chair. Ms. Wanda, is maybe if we could write that in the chat, we can read it off.
That's what I was just about to take.
Yeah, can you type that in the chat and then we can read it off? Okay, there we go.
Look at that.
That's exactly what I was doing, Chair Leak. I hope that helps.
Yeah, can you see that, Commissioner, Vice Chair?
I can't see it because I'm on the phone, and you all do not want to see me, Chair. I have pink eye, so I'm just on the phone. So someone who can read it can make the motion, please.
Okay. Commissioner Thompson?
Yeah. I make a motion to accept the ad hoc committee's recommendation to change the name of the Human Relations Department and Commission to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department and Commission.
Thank you. All right. Motion by Commissioner Thompson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Preble. Of course, we're going to go around so we all can vote, okay? Commissioner Sarton, what's your preference, please?
I agree.
Thank
yes.
you. Commissioner Price?
Approve.
Thank you. Commissioner Preble?
Approve.
Commissioner Haynes?
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The memo doesn't address the commission name changing, so is that something that we need to change in the memo along with the statement about the estimated cost being minimal?
You're already going through your questioning. You should have done that when there time for asking questions on any name.
We can have a discussion on a motion that's on the floor.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You can do that.
I've already started the motion, but okay.
So commissioners, then what you could do is amend the original motion. I'm trying to remember my Robert's Rules of Order. You can amend the original motion by saying at the end of that with the changes of adding the cost projection and what was that, Sunny?
Well, I was just asking for clarification about whether the commission name is name change is part of the recommendation, because the memo does not address that.
That's okay. What I'm going to do is try to assist yet again.
So this motion dies. I mean, it's not on the floor anymore, correct?
I think someone has to make a motion to table this motion. I hope that that's correct in Robert's rules. If somebody knows Robert's rules better than I do, please correct me.
That is Robert Rules of Order. There's a motion on the floor. It needs to be, a motion needs to be made saying that we table this said motion to revise another motion being accepted by the committee.
I'm not so sure the motion needs to change at all. It's just really a question about the motion that was made.
There was an opportunity for questioning. That's why the chairman would say, "You ready for the question?" And it opposed and it nays. That's when that's supposed to be asked. But when the motion's in motion, if we're going to do it like Ms. Wonder says, it needs to be done the correct way. But that's just my 2 cents.
That we postpone this particular matter until we clarify what the motion should be.
And then the motion can be placed back on the table. That's the Robert Rules of Order.
But that doesn't mean that you cannot vote on this tonight. It's just saying that this particular motion needs to be kind of tabled, and then you just start from scratch with a new motion.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's technical, but that's what it is.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to have somebody make a motion to table this motion, correct? Maybe, yeah. It's a recommendation. I'm sorry.
Okay, I make a motion that we table this motion.
I will second.
That was the motion that I made, to postpone it.
Oh, you did, Sunny? I'm sorry.
Postpone or table, Sunny? Commissioner Haynes, postpone or table?
Well, postpone, because I'm not sure. I just have a point of clarification about the motion itself, because we talked this whole time about changing the department name, but then the motion was about the commission and the department. So I didn't know that was going to be the motion when we were having the discussion.
Okay.
Okay, and my understanding, just so everyone is clear, I did have a conversation with our city attorney about this prior to the ad hoc committee working on the name change memo. And my understanding from the discussion I had with her is that it could be inferred. If it came down to it, it could be inferred that if the department's name is changing, the commission's name would change. So if it really came down to it, it could be inferred. But my recommendation, unless I am wrong about the Robert's rules, is that you all just table this motion and then someone make a new motion to include the cost analysis and the commission. And I think you would be covered.
Okay, and I think Commissioner Thompson is going to do that for us because she's writing down. So.
And check the chat too.
Oh yeah, that's right. And also, guys, I've got to say this before. I know some of us are saying approve, but because of Robert Rules of Order, yeah, we do need everyone to say yay or nay. So,
aye or
nay.
One thing that we could do, since I made the motion, I could make the motion to table it, and then someone could always take it from the table so that we could consider it if you want to do it that way.
Okay, so, and thank you so much, Mr. Larry dealing with city council meetings and all the motions and Robert's rules. So what we can do is do a substitute motion. And then also you all do have a motion and a second on the first motion. So again, that needs to be tabled. Then you go into a substitute motion, I believe. Is that correct, Mr. Bell, from what you've observed in city council meetings? Or can we just do substitute motion without tabling? And then when going back to the first one, they would just vote it down. Okay. Okay, thank you. Does everybody have that? Okay, so hang in there, commissioners.
This has never happened before.
Job. Phenomenal job. What you would need to do is go ahead, someone make a substitute motion, and the language is in the chat, and it includes the two items that you all want to include. And then after you voted on the substitute motion, you would go back and you would vote down the original motion, from what I'm understanding. So right now, someone needs to make a substitute motion, and then someone would need to second that substitute motion.
Okay.
And then you do the roll call vote.
Correct. Okay, now is there a
aye or nay?
Gotcha. Okay, now is there a motion?
You're calling for a substitute motion.
I'm sorry. I'm calling for a substitute motion. I'm sorry.
I'll go ahead and make a substitute motion to accept the ad hoc committee's recommendation to change the name of the Human Relations Department to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department, and with the recommended additions of adding cost analysis and to include the Human Relations Commission in the change in the name change. Whew.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Price.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Thompson. Commissioner Preble, what's your preference?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Sarton. I'll come back to her. Commissioner Price.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Haynes.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Usher.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Vice Chair Wiggins.
Aye.
Thank you. And Commissioner Thornton. Commissioner Sarton.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. The ayes have it. Any questions, comments? Any opposed? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye.
The ayes have it unanimously. Now, are we going back to something else?
So now you need to vote down the original motion.
Okay, all right.
Someone needs to make a motion to vote down the original motion.
Okay.
Which did not include, the commission or the cost analysis.
Okay. Is there a motion to vote down the original motion?
I'll make a motion to vote down the original motion of name changes.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Price. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Preble. All right. Commissioner Haynes, what's your preference?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Vice Chair Wiggins.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Usher.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Preble.
Aye.
Commissioner Price. Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. And Commissioner Sarton.
Aye.
Thank you. And I as well. Are there any questions? Are there any opposed? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Let's have unanimously. All right. Thank you. I think we did it, y'all.
Hooray.
Yes.
All right. Any comments, Ms. Wanda? Before we, I think we all. I gotta get ready for church though.
I'm really I think that you all did a great job. And, you know, nothing good comes easy. So maybe that's what this is really all about. So I just wanted to thank Commissioner Usher for sharing his understanding of Robert's Rules of Order. I definitely want to thank Mr. Larry Bell from Marketing Communications, who records city council meetings all the time. So he was a huge help with this as well. And thanks, Commissioner Haynes. So I'm hoping
Thank you all. Thank you.
This should definitely do it. So the minutes are going to be interesting, Carlin. That's she's got her hand on her head. She's like, oh gosh.
Yes, well, I will say this is the first time that we have had a substitute motion the history that I've been involved with the Human Relations Commission. So thank you all for your commitment to this special virtual meeting tonight. So are there any other comments before we adjourn?
I'd just like to extend a special thanks to Commissioner Haynes for her write-up. It was fantastic. It was clear. It was concise. It really underscored the need and the benefit of this change. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Haynes.
It was a group effort. Thank you all.
Thank you for your expertise. All right. Well, I think this is our last meeting for the year. So everyone have a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Amen.
But we do got to have a motion to adjourn before we do dismiss. So is there a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Motion by Commissioner.
Is
there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Price. Commissioner Sarton, what's your preference?
Adjourn.
Aye.
Aye, sorry.
Thank you. Commissioner Price.
Aye.
Commissioner Preble.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
And Commissioner Usher.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Vice Chair Wiggins. She got off. Okay. Commissioner Haynes.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it, and that is unanimously. Thank you all so much for your hard work.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Who made that motion?
Commissioner Thompson.
Thompson. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
You want to be safe, be well.
Merry Christmas.